And please join me in welcoming the faculty of the Upper School Columbus Torah Academy. The moment we've been waiting for, this year's 8th grade class of 2013. Please rise for the singing of the Star Spangled Banner and the Hatikvah. Please be seated. Our ceremony will open with the reading of Tehillim, selections from Psalms, Hannah Blumenfeld, and Shachar Raskin.
שיר המעלות אשר כל ירא אדוני ההולך בדרכיו. יגיע כפיך כי תאכל אשריך וטוב לך. אשדך כגפן פריה וירכתי ביתך בניך כשתלי זיתים סביב לשולחניך. הנה כי כן יבורך גבר ירא אדוני. יברכך אדוני מציון וראה בטוב ירושלים כל ימי חייך. וראה בנים לבניך שלום על ישראל.
A song of ascents. Praiseworthy is every man who fears the Lord, who walks in his ways. If you eat the toil of your hands, you are praiseworthy, and it is good for you. Your wife will be as a fruitful vine in the innermost parts of your house. Your sons will be like olive shoots around your table. Behold, that so a man who fears the Lord be blessed. May the Lord bless you from Zion and see the good of Jerusalem all the days of your life. And may you see children born to your children and see peace upon Israel.
Greetings. It's a pleasure to celebrate the accomplishments of the 8th grade of 2013. This is a great class and the future of our high school. These children have grown into mensches, and isn't that what CTA is about? This is the third year in a row, too. I'm pleased to say that such a large number of our 8th graders are continuing on to the high school. We've had a wonderful retention and a commitment of the parents and children to go to our high school in the future, and I'm looking for great things in the future for the upper school. And that really attests to the work of our administrators, who have done a wonderful job in communicating with families and in trying to give us a really great product. All of us are engaged in the cooperative effort, parents, teachers, and the peers of these children, in growing kids and in making them great. Now, since starting my presidency, my goal has been that we relentlessly chase success until we sap our energies. Now, there are some that say there are cons to that approach. But I say, we'll let you judge the results. So let's enjoy a wonderful evening with these wonderful children.
Each of the graduates will now share personal thoughts with us on the theme of family.
Our teacher, Maura Viva, told the class to get in line for lunch. I stood up as my table was called and walked toward the wall. I stopped next to a girl. She was a bit taller than me, with shoulder-length brown hair. Her large blue eyes, sparkling in the light, looked at me. "Hi, I'm Marguerite," she said. "What's your name?" This was the start of a strong new friendship, one that will last forever. I realized starting kindergarten here at CTA would not be difficult. CTA was full of caring, inviting people I was yet to meet. Over the past 2 years, our class has grown very close. The whole class is a second family to me. The 20 of us have all connected so much over the past 9 years, give or take a few. Although school can get stressful, this class always finds a way to make every 40-minute period enjoyable. I'm not sure how I could have survived this year without them. I can't thank them enough for the smiles they put on my face. Next year will be much different. We will all continue on different paths, some the same. Losing classmates will be like losing a sister or brother to me. But I know we have all created bonds that will last long past our high school years. I guess what starts with a hello must end with a goodbye. But it's too hard to say goodbye, so I'll just say see you soon. Thanks, guys. I love you all.
Wow. It's been 10 years. 10 years since I walked through the front doors of this building. 10 years since I began my education at Columbus Tar Academy. 10 years since the start of new friendships. I've grown up in this school. It's the building that I know every little inch of. Where to hide your pencil when you don't want to go back upstairs. Where you can find more paper for the printer. And which gym locker opens the easiest. It's little things like those that makes me feel like CTA is my second home. The general atmosphere here is one that will be hard to forget. I will carry everything I've learned in this school with me to the next stage of my life. I've known the same people my whole life, and I can easily say that my class is a very united group of people, a family. As the years progressed, we became closer and closer, each year something else exciting happening to strengthen our bonds. If I'm ever lost or confused, I know I will always have them behind me. We've shared so many amazing moments that I will always remember. The smiles that we've shared, the tears that we've shed, and the hugs that we've exchanged are implanted in my mind forever and ever. Even though, after a whole decade in the same place with the same people, I will not physically be here to support my friends next year. still remember the first day of kindergarten. The room smelled like fresh crayons and paper. All the kids were sitting at their tables talking to each other, and I was sitting next to a girl who I didn't know was going to become one of my best friends. The girl turned her head, which made her blonde bouncy curls shake side to side, and she smiled at me, making her blue eyes sparkle through her purple glasses. "Hi, my name is Maya," she said to me, holding out her hand. "Do you want to be friends?" I smiled back and shook her hand, but after a few years, she left, and more people came and more people left. And now we have the class that we have today, and I think the class we have now is the best. Today is the day we say goodbye, but it's not really goodbye. It's more like see you later. So now it's time to take a step towards high school and experience some new adventures, going through all 4 years of high school together. And I'm going to miss all of you that are leaving next year, but it's not like we'll never see each other again. So congratulations to the 8th grade of 2013, and see you later.
In kindergarten, as I stepped through the big glass door with black ribbon, I knew a journey was starting. It is now a lockdown, Mrs. Whitmire had announced. Maura Alicia told us to be quiet and come sit in the corner of the classroom with her. As we all quietly got up and sat with her in 2 hours, right there, I felt that we were turning into a family. Sure, there were those scheduled events such as Shakespeare, Underground Railroad, and the best of all, Washington, D.C. Our class got closer as we connected even more and had an amazing time. Yet, it was those unplanned interruptions that perhaps defined our class best, such as Lily and I's frequent trips to the nurse's office, when the power went out, playing around with my scooter in the hallway, and getting sent down with Lily and Yoni more than once in science. Those are a few of many interruptions that make our class who we are today. I have gone through so many journeys while at CTA, but while going through all of those journeys, I knew I had the help and support from all of those who surround me every day, the people I call my family.
Before we begin, I'd like to give a special thank you to some very important people. My mother and father, who are always there for me, ready to help in a moment's notice. My brother, who, though knowing the times, is always there to be motivational when I need it. When I first came to CTA, I felt like an outsider. Everyone had known each other for years, and I was just getting used to a new city, so it took time to adjust. Over the last 6 years, we have shared many great experiences. We won one basketball game together, and we scored an entire soccer goal. CTA didn't teach us charity, so we made sure never to let the other team feel bad. Today, I'd like to talk to you about one of the many things everyone here at CTA has given me. Through teamwork and amazing collaboration, we all grew so much closer. Before I had the honor of learning here with you and becoming all of your friends, I would never have been able to have the confidence to be up here speaking. That is because, from all of you, I learned the greatest lesson I've learned around such wonderful people. That lesson is friendship. From it, I got confidence, a measure of self-worth, and so much more. It's because, no matter all your feats of knowledge, and no matter all the works of art you can create, it's meaningless if you can't share all that with the people you love that are around you. So, because of this now, to me at least, the greatest joys in life come not from learning a talent, but sharing with your friends and seeing light in their eyes as they enjoy with you.
When my parents first told me that I was moving to Columbus, Ohio, my first reaction was, where is that? They told me that it was about 9 hours away from Teaneck, New Jersey, our present home. They started to visit over the next couple of months, and the more they told me about how this is great, the more they told me about how great this move was going to be, the more I got scared. I had great friends at a great school. I couldn't leave them after only 2 years. The day came for the whole family to visit the school and the house. We luckily came on the best day of the school year, Color War. Color War had settled the deal. We all wanted to move to Columbus. And during Color War, I met 2 friends, Jacob Sobel and Yoni Wilson. And when I walked into my first day at CTA, they were the first ones to come and greet me. They introduced me to everyone in the entire class, and I realized that this journey wasn't going to be so bad after all. As years went by and I got closer and closer to my class, I realized that we were forming a family. And this family has made a huge difference for me in the course of the past 6 years. Unfortunately, some irreplaceable friends, including Jacob, my closest, left. But people leaving was not going to bring our class relationship down. The big difference from our class and other classes is that we all have each other's backs, and we all know how to cheer each other up. I know that this year we have people leaving our family, and they will be missed, and I would like them to know that they will never be forgotten. I stand before you today ready to take on this new journey, and ready to go with my family sitting there behind me.
I sat in my mom's black SUV wishing that I didn't have to get out. What was this new, terrifying place? Come on, Jenna, my dad's voice said, but I was too busy with my own worry-filled thoughts along with exhaustion, since worry had also intruded my sleep that night. Choiceless, I stepped out of my safe haven, holding a plastic bag filled with tissue boxes in one hand, a bag with binders in the other, and a backbreaking load of other necessary items, and a small pink backpack on my back. Each step felt like a death march, not knowing what was ahead of me. I remember how that day I was in the brown log cafeteria getting lunch, feeling strange and different, when Mrs. Kahn asked me if I was having a good day, to which I replied a resounding no. Then she remarked back, "You're the only new student to have said that all day." "Oh," I replied and walked away. But the second day finally came, and then the third, and so on. Those feelings changed. From all the girls wearing the same color, to games of sign out and getting a concussion, Shakespeare getting barraged with buckets of water, student council, and ridiculous nicknames such as Genja Kawasaki Toyota and J-Rod, I started to feel close to the other 19 kids behind me, each in a different way. Our class molded together. Thank you to my family, teachers, and of course the 8th grade class of 2013. Although I didn't like my first day, I have enjoyed the last 720 days here, a part of my grade at CTA.
I joined CTA at 6th grade. Throughout the years until today, I learned how to solve equations, important dates of Jewish history, and how to bunt the ball to all bases. I also learned how to make mistakes. One of my mistakes was with Yoni, which I will not do again. Yoni and I were in Washington at an exhibit where Yoni was chasing me until I hit a woman's stroller. We were taken to the side, but we were able to continue the exhibit. Today I will be graduating, but it wouldn't have been easy without my friends at my side. Not only did my friends help me, also did my teachers too. If I was having a problem, they would help me, and thanks to that, I'm standing here. My last thank yous go to the janitors for keeping the school clean, and the cooks and their assistants for making me full with delicious food every day. Thank you everybody for helping me throughout the years in every possible way.
I walked through the doors of CTA for the first time in the middle of 6th grade. I was nervous as can be, but to my surprise, I was greeted with, "Sivan!" I already knew a lot of students in the class, and I wasn't afraid of being lonely. The 6th grade class was large and was split into two. My friends kept asking me what class I'm in. They all wished I was in their class. I was overwhelmed by their love. I really felt the warmth of CTA. Towards the beginning of the year this year, I learned a few more things about how warm it is here. One morning, during davening, I got sick and had to visit the nurse. Everyone was in the shul davening, and I really wanted to be with them, but I was too weak and couldn't move. I had been in the room for a couple of minutes, and sure enough, a couple of girls walked in to ask me how I feel. It made me feel great to have such awesome and caring friends. I'll miss every classmate that is not going to be here next year. I'm confident that with CTA's education, I'll be well prepared for high school and beyond. I'm grateful to my parents for providing me with everything I need and for sending me to this wonderful school. Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa, for coming in for this special occasion. I enjoy spending time with you. Thank you, Safta. I know you would have liked to be here too.
You and Saba Abraham, Zichrono Livracha, were both teachers at CTA when I was a baby, and some of the faculty and staff that worked with you are still here today. It feels very special to me when I hear a CTA teacher say, "He reminds me of your Saba," when they see my little brother Abraham, who's here in kindergarten at CTA. It is through these wonderful teachers who serve as our daily role models that we have learned how to treat each other with care and respect. I appreciate that they understand I miss him. If that's not family, I don't know what is.
I will never forget that moment, no matter how hard I tried. It was one of my first gym classes in my new school in a new country. All of the girls were in the locker room, and I was about to head toward my sitting spot. I felt like I should turn on the light since it was off. And so, all I did was flip the switch. The next thing I knew, I was having a heart attack while the fire alarm blared. Everyone ran out of the locker room in a panic and lined up in a straight line, trying not to scream and cry. Without realizing what I did, I ran outside to line up with my class, yelling, "I'm here!" I don't know how I confused a light switch with a red handle with the word fire written in white. I got a new nickname and learned not to try to turn on or off the light in the locker room. As you all know, I came from Israel 2 years ago, and I felt like I didn't fit in because I felt uncomfortable with the language and the new people around me. Since that horrifying event, I now feel confident doing things that I couldn't do before. I also learned during the past 2 years that you need to go around the world to find your real friends. I'm excited to be graduating 8th grade, and I believe that we will make funnier memories together. Rest assured, I will know how to trip the fire alarm in case of a real fire.
I've attended CTA for 2 years, and I've gained many peers. It feels like I've been here forever. It has truly been a great endeavor. CTA is so caring and nice. Every moment has been like paradise. Nothing has been the same since the day I first came. From singing, dancing, and doing who knows what in the hallway to eating outside during lunch, to connecting with this lovely bunch. The one little thing about CTA that makes it feel like home is that it's hard to say shalom. 15 girls plus 5 boys equal 20. We put the fun in dysfunctional, which is plenty. As I continue on to the long, windy road called high school, I will treasure you all because you're just that cool. So thank you, CTA, for all that you have given me. I'm grateful to say we are all one big happy family.
As I look around the room, it is impressive to see all of you out there who are here for the 20 of us on stage tonight. 11 of us have been here from the beginning. You might say this is the nucleus of our family. There have been some who have left and others who have joined, but all in all, this has been one heck of a ride. Until now, it's as if everything we have done has been practiced for the future. We have been given many opportunities to come together. Chag HaSidor, Underground Railroad, Shakespeare, and the Washington Trip, just to name a few. And still other moments that fortunately are not on the record. Without the administration, staff, and most importantly our teachers, none of this would have been possible. So tonight, we, the 8th grade class of 2013, thank you. High school looks to be the beginning of quite another journey. The slate is wiped clean and we begin anew. For those of you who are not continuing on at CTA, this will be the true test of how tight our family really is. With Facebook, Skype, and FaceTime, we'll be able to stay connected and inspire one another as we move into the next chapter of our life. I hope that no matter where we are, whether it's in another school or another city, we are able to take what we have learned at CTA and what we have experienced together to guide our future. And just remember, practice is over. From now on, everything we do goes on our permanent record.
Here we are at graduation, presenting all that was taught to us throughout the year. What we learned that wasn't part of the academics is sometimes more important. People have feelings, and as much as students hate to realize it, teachers are people. All teachers are different. Some bend and some break. When a teacher strolls into the room, and you can tell that someone is going to be screamed at, stop and think. Is it worth it to have fun for 43 minutes, or be bored for an hour after school? Respect for people, even teachers, can take you a long way. I also learned the power of rumors. In a small school, an untruth can spread rapidly, and like a game of telephone, can be twisted into a completely different idea. So when receiving information, make sure not to transmit it into misinformation. These extracurricular lessons is what makes CTA so special, and I hope that I will continue to learn untaught lessons throughout high school.
When I was younger, I thought that a class was a group of people that came to school at the same time, 5 days a week for 180 days. But as the years of CTA progressed, I realized I was wrong. We are much more, and growing up in the era of technology, the social media, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, helped me on my road to creating a family. Technology. It's terrible sometimes to think about how it's taking over the world. For me, there is one thing that helps to define this nutty group of teenagers. I remember going down the big staircase in the gym, yelling for Marge to teach me how to use Instagram. I had just downloaded it onto my iPod and could not figure out how to use it. Almost immediately, Marge, Hannah, and I started to take pictures, capturing moments and silly things to share with the world. This app is not just another social networking app. For me, this is where it began. For me, this is where a lot of my memories with this dysfunctional family can be found. From pictures at lunch outside, to the crazy Hello Kitty for President in DC. All the pictures are there, and even though some of my closest friends are leaving, I know that these memories will always be there to reflect on. These memories we created together, as a family of weirdos, at CTA or at Taco. So to my favorite people in the world, I have one thing to say. #love and keep the great memories coming.
Washington, D.C. was when I think my class bonded the most. That week of independence and responsibility brought us closer together. We were away from home, without parents or restricted bedtimes. Our chaperones, the Khans, tried to give us as much room as possible to make our own decisions. This helped us bond as a class as we relied on each other during our daily schedule and while touring museums. We organized our meals and were free to choose which exhibits we learned and visited from. We learned how to take responsibility for each other. When I lost my iPod, everyone on the bus helped me look for it. Away from the protective cocoon of my home, one quickly internalizes the concept that ultimately we were the ones who were responsible for ourselves. We also made it our duty to find ways to entertain each other on the long trip. Rosie taught us how to play candy poker. We handed out Hello Kitty for President flyers outside the Crime Museum, after elections, of course. The concepts of independence and responsibility will help me and my classmates as we move on to high school and begin our next journey.
At the end of 7th grade, I read Divergent, and I made it my personal mission to force every girl in the class to read it. I'm not going into a summary of the book, but one major theme is overcoming fear. I took advantage of this, and I managed to get my friends to do crazy but brave things. For instance, during the trip to Arlington National Cemetery, I noticed that almost everywhere we stood, I was shaded by large oak trees that had dropped acorns. I picked a couple clean ones up and convinced Marge and Rosie to join me in eating an acorn. We all took one, cracked them open, and on the count of 3, stuck them in our mouths and chewed. I don't think I've ever eaten anything as bitter and astringent as those acorns. And I'm pretty sure Marge and Rosie agreed. Luckily, Julie had bought some in the gift shop. 20 days later, my birthday came around, and Rosie and Hannah told me they were making me something, but they wouldn't tell me what, even though they know I hate surprises. On the day of my birthday, they came to me with a chocolate cake and passed it out to everyone, although they insisted I got a certain corner. Before I ate it, I inspected the cake to see if they had poisoned it or something. Sure enough, they had stuffed acorns in my cake, which I did not eat. And that is one of the many things I'll remember about this class. It has been an amazing year. Thanks to all my teachers, parents, and friends for being there for me. It is so sad to see so many members of my family leave and go off on their separate paths. But I know that we will make an effort to keep in touch by class emails, Skype, FaceTime, and occasional visits, so no one needs to say goodbye.
Sometimes, as the saying goes, don't know whether to laugh or cry. I should have never even looked at the movie. The result was me crying hysterically. We were driving back from our 8th grade Washington trip and were playing Truth or Truth. While waiting our turn, Rosie, Shmuel, and I kept spacing out and looking at the TV. Rabbi Khan picked out the movies, and I don't know why, but he picked Haji. We were at this point in the movie where the dog returned heartbreakingly to the place where its owner had died. Rosie, Shmuel, and I started crying. We wept openly and cried more at each other's crying. Molly, who was sitting 2 seats back, heard us through her headphones. Molly now got up and moved closer towards where Rosie, Shmuel, and I were sitting. Molly took her headphones out and said, "Why are you guys laughing so hard?" I said, "Molly, does it look like we're laughing?" This made us cry even harder. Molly started laughing hysterically. Somehow faced with the choice of whether to laugh or cry, our class can do both. No matter where we are or what we are doing, our class always has fun and always stays united.
As the sun was about to rise on a normal November morning, I woke up early. We were about to head on a class trip across the country. I got dressed, ate breakfast, and climbed aboard the bus. Everyone was either sleeping or on their electronics, and I was the one just waiting there, waiting for someone's battery to run out. Finally, someone got off their phone, which made everyone somehow get off their phones, like dominoes. We played games, watched movies, and talked. We finally arrived in Washington, D.C., surviving a 7-hour drive my class had to endure. D.C. was the first time I've been away from home for a week. Everything we did in D.C. was fun. Touring, sightseeing, and even sleeping on the hotel room cot because Shmuel and Yaakov took the 2 beds in our room. The cot I was given was a size too small, but I got used to it. The fact I had to live with what I was given defined why I have loved attending CTA for 9 years. Sometimes you don't always get what you want, but maybe what you get turns out to be better. Over the 9 years I have attended CTA, our class has formed into something bigger than just a class. Even though our class won't be the same next year, we will still remember those memories we made during events like Washington. I am very thankful to have had the opportunity to be with each and every one of you.
Stepping into this building or preschool was the start of my CTA journey. Most of my classmates and I experienced kindergarten graduation, lockdown, Chag HaSiddur, Mrs. Coin, Rabbi Elazar's chocolate, Shakespeare, and more. Over the past 10 years, each teacher has taught me life lessons that I will cherish forever. CTA has been a warm, friendly, caring, familiar school that I have learned to love. Earlier this year, I did not attend CTA. The class had inside jokes and went through fun times I was not a part of. It was hard at the beginning, but in a short period of time, it felt like I never left. Coming back made me realize how much my friends and family mean to me, and how supportive and great they all are. My class is very fun to be around, and I love them all so much. Over the past few years, we have all grown together and have become a second family to one another. Thank you, CTA, friends, and family, for all helping me become the person I am today. I hope to continue growing while I hold on to my CTA memories as I head off on the rest of my journey to high school. On the first day of kindergarten, I ran down the sidewalk in late August wearing a light blue t-shirt and a My Little Pony backpack. I sat down in the little blue and yellow chairs, was assigned to one person from a group of big kids. I later learned to go by the term seniors, and began the adventure that would mold me into who I am today. That day, I came home from school and my family fired questions at me. How was your first day? Good. How are your teachers? Fine. Who's in your class? I don't remember. This conversation went the same way every first day of school for the next few years. In those first years, we were like oil and water, in a cup together, yet separate. In 5th grade, the chalkboards of the elementary school classrooms have suffered many a frog from our days of drawing Frogolina and Grandpa Frog and such, then proceeding to argue over which frog is the best. At that point in our career as CTA students, arguments were a method of bonding, an easily detached connection between us all, but strengthening by the minute. Here we are now, 8th grade. We've been through hours of being locked up in the JCC together, to shout Shakespeare lines, days of wandering through maze-like museums and